Hello, and welcome to the stream. My name is JD Grosspitz, lead singer and streaming talent of Malignant Bear, and we're live tonight on a rare Saturday stream, checking out Lost Ark. Amazon sent me a beta key for this for some reason. Thanks to them. That was awesome. And that's good, because I was curious about this, and I was going to check it out, but didn't feel like spending the, $100 or whatever it is to get the early access version of it that included the beta key anyways. So props to them for that. For those who aren't aware, Lost Ark is apparently one of the biggest, if not the biggest, games in South Korea at the moment. It is an action RPG MMO, which, if you are aware of Korean gaming, specifically Korean MMOs, sets off all sorts of red flags. Korean MMOs are notorious for being very grindy, very kind of just generic, full of microtransactions and grinding and just filling bars. Essentially, kind of similar to New World, just lots of grinding. But fun to be had if you're into that. But none of them have really taken off in the West. And Lost Ark is an interesting case in that it's a little bit different in terms of gameplay, and it's being handled by Amazon, which is why I was able to make a dig at New World. And yeah, they're porting it, which is neat. I thought it was just a localization port, but apparently it's a full-blown port of it. They're changing and updating some other things, which is kind of interesting. So the star of the show here in this game is the gameplay, just straight up. And that's what we're going to be leading with, is I'm going to do one of the little tutorials here, the training room with one of the specific characters. And then after that, I'll be talking about the UI and some of the other gameplay things, because there's a lot to cover there. And then I'll be showing each of the other character classes and the character creator as well. So, full warning before we go in, this game is incredibly taxing on my system. I am admittedly running it completely maxed out at Ultra 1440p, and it's kind of struggling to get to 80 FPS. But the downside is that if I try to run it at a lower resolution, it doesn't look so good because I have a very large monitor. So I'm kind of hamstrung there, and I don't feel like playing it windowed because I know I will wildly click outside of it and probably have some sort of screw up there. But anyway, the game looks good. I will say that. So it's worth the FPS drops, and I'm hoping that they'll have some optimization passes before it actually launches. But anyway, we'll talk more about that when we get into it. So without any further ado, here's Lost Ark. Very brief drop panda there, I don't know, or drop bear there, I don't know what that was about. But here we are. We're in the game. We're in the training room. I'm playing as Grosspitz. I am a something paladin. And we'll talk about how classes work in this game after this. It's interesting. There is essentially 5 classes, but each one has subclasses, and each of the subclasses is very different. So, but suffice to say, for right now, I am a paladin. You know what paladins are. They're kind of generic holy warriors. They use melee weapons, and they have magic spells. This is what my character looks like. I can take my helmet off. Can't really zoom in too much. So I can zoom in here. So there's me, very edgy looking, complete with the facial hair. Yeah. My hair looks better than that in real life. But anyway, here you have my pet rabbit. Oh, control click. What does that do? Apparently nothing? Okay. I don't know why it says that. I'll show that very briefly. So you have pets in this game, and pets can gather loot for you, and you can set up loot filters with this, which is really neat. You can also name them, so right now I just put Bun, Kakora, go with that. Your pets can level up and have different effects and different functions. This is just the one you get by default. But we'll talk about some other this stuff later. So I'm here in the little training arena, and here's an NPC who's she can talk to us and just tell us how to train. But we're just gonna go through and we're gonna do these things. You can see how the combat works. So there's a hotbar down here. It might look a little different than you're used to with other MMOs. these are bound to just buttons rather than numbers. Your numbers are your quick use items over there. And you can play this with a controller. I haven't yet, and I'm probably going to after this, because I didn't even realize that was an option. But we'll just jump right in. Press and hold the casting skill where you want, and do a thing. Okay. So my casting skill is D. So I have to wait for it to come back up off cooldown there. So you can see there, just very basically, I guess I probably should have done this first, realistically. So you move with the mouse, more like an action RPG, like Diablo. The other mouse button is your basic attack, which is a combo. You can combo this in with your other moves. You have your different abilities down here. It set some specific ones for this training for me. But you have like this one, you can combo in and out of them. There's different types of them, so you can see this one's a hold down, some of those are just pushes. The one that it had me use there in the little tutorial was a targeted AoE that you have to cast. It's all very flashy, everything looks pretty good. So that was a casting skill. We'll try a holding skill now. Try holding the button down. So we'll let them move up. You can see I have to hold the R button down to use this ability now. If you let it go early, it will interrupt it, which is potentially something that you want to do depending on what's happening in combat. You can knock enemies around, you can stagger them, you can stun them, there's all sorts of status effects. They can do the same to you. There's a dodge function in the game. It has a shortened cooldown in the little test arena here, but it's longer in the actual game. This also works to get you up if you've been knocked down, which is neat. So you can see I already did those, but they're super easy. Try the combo skill. After pressing his combo skill, press it again before the action ends to activate the combo. Let's try it. So you can press it twice or just hold it down. So you can see it's very flashy. These are identity skills, so every class has basically an ultimate. So here we're going to get a nice test where it's going to let us just do whatever we want to build up our ultimate meter. You can see it's getting some stuttering there. Again, this game is incredibly graphically demanding. So I have my piety meter to full. Let's press Z to activate one of my ultimates. So you can see it has certain skills highlighted. So this class, Paladin, has access to two different ultimate abilities, or class abilities. One, the blue one, makes my blue move stronger. Who would have thought? And the other one, the gold one, makes my gold move stronger. Charge it up again. I have to do the other one now. Roll up our meter again. So with this one, in classic Paladin fashion, that is our sort of buff, our shield for our party members, which is nice. I don't even know what this is. Okay, that's a new one. Stagger. We'll try this one last. Attack your foes until the stagger gauge beneath their HP bar is exhausted. Why can't I talk? Went right through them. So you can see there's pop-ups there, the damage numbers, and it's saying back attack and things like that. The positioning is important in this game. Different skills have different positioning requirements or bonuses depending on your position. That was impressive. I did all the basics. How do I... Oh, I can scroll down. Okay. Battle item. Press 1 and use your battle item. Oh boy. It's open again. Items, potions.
This way.
All that stuff.
This way.
She wants to talk to me. Okay. This is one of the more awkward things in this game is the dialogue things here. To go through them, you have to push G. You can't... Like, you can click through as well, but either option isn't super responsive. There's no way to skip dialogue. You can skip cutscenes after you've made multiple characters. Like, I made one character, went through the tutorial and some basic stuff, then made another one, and you're able to skip the cutscenes and all that, but not the dialogue, and the dialogue is kind of cheesy and generic. So, if they change nothing else about this, I hope it's this. I hope that you can just kind of skip dialogue, because the game is very grindy, and forcing you to go through this, especially when there's not any actual choices, is kind of baffling. So, but we did all that, so let's go ahead and exit. We'll go back to town, just because that's taking up a whole bunch of the UI. You kind of see what the starter town looks like in some of our UI elements here. So I said there's a lot going on here, and I wasn't kidding. Might have noticed, of course, here with my hotbar, again, I have my gauges, all my different skills. So talking about these skills, each skill has levels. You get points when you level up. You have different skill presets. So apparently that costs money to have more than one, or more than two, rather. All of your skills has their own individual skill tree, and you can buff them up. There's quite a lot of skills. Some classes have more than others. They have a recommended skill thing, so if you don't know how to build a character, you can do that. There's a lot of potential stuff going on here. A lot of freedom in terms of how you want to build your character. Regrettably, even though this is a beta, and it's up for less than a week, I've already seen people like attempting to min-max in the chat, which is just... I don't understand. But, you know, just take it and enjoy it, get a feel for the game. But the skill system and the combat system, really good and really satisfying. I didn't say that just because I was so focused on kind of showing it off. This game feels really good to play, I will give it that. It feels kind of like Diablo 3, but with weight behind it. Your attacks have some punch to them, regardless of the class you're playing, and we'll see that in a little bit. But your attacks are weighty. There's a full physics system in the game. Although this is going to sound pervy, but there's no jiggle physics, which is weird because all of the characters look like supermodels. And there's a physics engine, but I don't know how that slipped past them. But I don't know, maybe they'll add it. But anyway, combat feels really good, and there's a lot of options here. I can totally see people falling down a rabbit hole of this. So, but anyway, outside of that, of course, you have all of your different presets here, which is cool. You can pick whatever buttons you want there. You'll notice I have a combat level, which is my character level, and an account level. I'm still not entirely sure about this, because this throws you in very much without a tutorial. It gives you the basics of the gameplay, but not the overarching game mechanics, which I thought was a little weird. There's a whole bunch of stuff up here. You can expand or hide that. There's a little calendar for events. I have some crystalline effect. This is like the battle pass, or not battle pass system, like the monthly pass system for this game, where it's like, I think it's like $5 and it lasts a month and you get some bonuses. I don't know what most of these things are, it just gave it to me for free. So, there is login rewards. Again, it's an MMO, so you can see it's just during the beta. And what else? I don't even... Yeah, there's mail. Again, of course. Your inventory, you have currency, different types. This is your money. This is your phoenix feathers. As far as I can tell, these are account-wide. So all your characters share money, and phoenix feathers let you revive on the spot if you die rather than somewhere else. So, here we have our map. You can see the channel that I'm in. So there's a lot of people playing this. UI is pretty modular. You can do a lot of things with it. You can search the map here. We have a full codex of all the stuff in the game, and boy, is there a lot of it. some of the stuff in the codex, some of the little tutorials that are built into the game, some of the videos are still in Korean. So there is features that I don't understand at all, but I assume that'll be fixed at some point. So, some of these other things we don't have, for example, a boat. There's sailing in this game. Join parties, there's selfie mode. Let's try this out, actually. Yeah, look at that. Okay. So, again, you have to have photo mode in modern gaming. Pretty tall. Every character in the game, every male character, or at least the ones that you can play as, are just these like ridiculous bodybuilder types. And all of the female characters, you can see them kind of wandering around in the background, are just, you know, kind of waifu bait, for lack of a better term. There is no body sliders or anything. There's a whole bunch of other customization options, but everybody's body looks the same. So we'll leave this then. Yes, we're done with selfie mode. What else is here? All these different widgets, again, you can change this all around. Your quest log, move that all around. Alright, so the elephant in the room. It's a Korean MMO, and there's a store. You knew it was coming. From what I can tell, from what I've read about the game in Korea, and apparently they're committed to this here, is that this is only ever going to be like kind of bonuses for some of like the crafting and stuff in terms of like actual gameplay stuff, but for the most part it's cosmetics and skins. So you can see here, for example, make your character look pretty dapper, turn into a demon. And I will say the demon skin is kind of interesting. It is different for every class and every subclass, and I think that's the case for armor and weapons as well. So there's a lot of potential customization here. There's mounts and pets. So you can see you can buy all these ones. They give you a bunch of currency in the beta to check things out and start. They're pretty cool looking. I don't know. Look at that. So here's features. Again, these would be the only thing that are potentially like gameplay changing. So this one is the 30-day pass thing that I was talking about. Get more of these feathers. So if you die, character slots, you can change how your character looks. There's not a whole lot in it for now. Again, they're just kind of testing things out. They don't have actual prices of what these things will cost in, you know, Western currency whenever this does launch. So standard fare though for an MMO shop. So we'll leave that for now. The account window, memory chamber, kind of standard for MMOs with story. You can see all the different story things that you might have missed. Achievements, these are account-wide. Boys, there are a lot of them. The pop-ups for the tutorial are always in the bottom right, which kind of sucks, because it's out of the way of like the main gameplay, but all of the windows are down there, so it can be kind of annoying for that. Anyway, these are account-wide, which is cool, so you can work towards all those things. What else is here? Your titles. There's lots of titles. Lots of titles. They don't mean anything. You get virtue points, and it says it's applied to all characters in the mission. I don't know what that means. I don't know if that's like account-wide bonuses. I think it is. Who knows? But again, there's lots of features in this that I'm not sure if they just aren't in this beta or I haven't gotten to them yet or what. It's looking like there's a whole hell of a lot of game here, though. So this is the mechanic that I have absolutely no idea about. There's cards. I have some of them. I can't do anything with them, and the guide for it is completely in Korean. So mission information. So this is why, like I said, I think this is just account-wide stuff. So you can see I have some of these for account level 5. All mission characters get +5 to all stats. I think that just means all my characters get that. Again, it doesn't really explain it, but from what I've read in this game and what I've heard about it, is you should be expected to probably grind one character to like max level, and then go back if you want to and check out some other ones. Character window, some of these I don't have yet. See all the skills again. inventory. There's not a whole lot going on here. A hairpin, of course. Need that. Cute. So you have some gear. So on the left is what I currently have equipped, and the thing on the right is my new gear, or not new gear, old gear I guess in this case. It is nice. So it's sort of action RPG, like I said, in terms of loot. There's a lot of it. Not quite as much as Diablo, but significantly more than something like WoW. And it tells you right off the bat if the stats are better or not than what you have. Like, it'll have an arrow on the icon here in your inventory if it's better than what you're using. So nice and convenient, easy to figure that out. There's not so many stats, it's overwhelming. You have gear presets, which is pretty cool. And what else? There's your pet inventory. Activate pet functions, okay. There's this storage. I don't have anything in storage yet. You can dismantle stuff. So if you don't want to carry around all this junk, dismantle. It's a way to keep your inventory neat and tidy. And you can just sell this for money instead. And there's other stuff that it gives you as you go through it too. And character profile. So again, we saw this. Here's all my stats. Not a whole lot going on here yet. Again, very low level. The game starts at level 1, of course, but for the purposes of the beta, they started everybody at level 10, which is when you get to pick your subclass. There's these other things. I think this is the account-wide thing. I have some of these already. It's hard to tell. I don't know what this is. Again, this is the cards. Who knows? But you're getting the picture. There's a lot of stuff here. Outside of that, there's a music system. So far, all I have is... It's like your Hearthstone, your Town Portal, whatever you want to call it. Collectibles. Things are just scattered around the world. Right now, all I found is some seeds. Again, they seem to give permanent bonuses, and those are also account-wide. As you can see here on the map. There's some seeds I found. If I go into another character, those will still be there. I can't find them again. I'll look at the map again in a second. Rapport. This is a weird system. There's like a little kind of almost dating sim with some of the characters in the game. Of course, through the characters here in the first town. That's all you get. And you can get details about them. You get rewards as you build up rapport with them. And you can get rapport either just by talking to them. Like you get a little bit every day, so you're encouraged to log in every day and do that. Give them gifts. These are super expensive. Again, they just gave us some of these. Or do some quests for them. So, but I mean, it's kind of interesting. It gives you some more information about the game and the people in it. But it's, again, it's kind of like almost dating sim, and it's a little weird. So, and that also seems to be account-wide from what I can tell. Here's another account-wide thing. The Adventurous Tome. This is basically just your checklist in terms of what you're doing, what you can do. It's missing some things, obviously. There's all kinds of different continents. Right now, there's only one unlocked. This game looks to have a lot of content in it. Of course, your quest log. I only have one. Guides. It's my pets. Mounts. These are also account-wide, which is good. Codex. We saw that before. Training room we did a little bit ago. Let's check out the world map. So here's the little zone we're in. And it's part of this subcontinent. Here's Log Hill. This is another area. We'll be going there later. And that subcontinent is part of this massive world. There's a lot of content here. I know one of the big things in this game is you get a boat. You could sail around and do all sorts of things. But you can see there's potentially tons of stuff here. Even just here in this continent, like this area was relatively big and had like a dungeon in it and some story content. So it tells you how many seeds are around. I'm terrible at finding them. Actually, how many are here? 9. Holy crap. What's this? Do raids, you can have parties, there's in-game voice chat. There's an emote system, guilds, there's a whole bunch of emotes. Of course, you can unlock more. I'm sure they'll sell some of these. Everyone has their own unique dance. It has fixed camera angle, at least as far as I can tell. I didn't see an option to change it anywhere, which is fine. I just picked a terrible place to stand to do this. But, look at me, getting down there, behind this wall. Ooh, what is... Oh my god. Game of the year all years. Your pets can do tricks too. This is new. Perform this action. Neat. Some emoticons, because of course. Guilds and friends. Don't have any of those yet. That seemed kind of silly for a beta. But we've seen this character a little bit. It's Paladin. They're fun, they're interesting. They're a little slower, as you might expect. So, let's hop on out, and here's all the other UI options just shown again. Let's go back to the character select. So this game does something that is a hallmark of Korean MMOs, in that some of the character classes are tied to gender. And we'll see that here on the screen. So for example, the Shadowhunter class is exclusively female. These other ones could be anything, but I figured we're playing a waifu bait game, we're gonna make some waifus. So, Grosspit's my paladin, Punch Spitz, which is my monk, Shoot Spitz, which is my gunslinger, and Stab Spitz is my rogue. They almost play more like a demon hunter from WoW, which is interesting. You can set your main character. Again, I don't quite understand what this means, but we're going to go into character creation before we show anything else. Boy, is that loud, and I have this turned down even. So you can see it has a little bar chart there showing what all of your different stats are potentially, and this is just in general. Each one of these has their own subclasses. So you can see Warrior can be Berserker, Gun Lancer, and Paladin. So Paladin is sort of a DPS / support. Gun Lancer is basically a tank as far as I could tell, and Berserker is big old two-handers. I saw a bunch of these guys just whirlwinding around the game. Mage. Female only, and they're all elves for some reason. Everybody else is humans, except these. We're going to showcase this just because I don't have a mage yet. So, character creator in these games is important. You have to know how good your waifu can look. We have some test outfits to show off here. This one is so extra. There's just so much going on there. There's some presets. You have a decent amount of options here. It's like fish ears, that's weird. But you have some set faces. You have some extra settings you can do with them, not a whole lot. Again, no body slider, it's all face and hair based. But some hairstyles, change the color up. You have different emotions you can do, show off. Very flamboyant. Leave it on that one, that'll be annoying. Yeah. Eyes, of course. You zoom all the way in, have heart-shaped pupils. Skin. You can make yourself look slightly older. Of course, adjust the intensity of your skin shine. Still freckles. I don't know why this is blue. Make it bluer. Why not? Change our hair up too. Twin tails. Makeup. So there's not a ton of options in this, especially compared to some other games that I've played, but it's still a decent amount. You can definitely make your character look the way you want. Another thing you can do is the item and gear skins. There's a ton of them in this game. Even just from what I've seen, there's a lot of unique looking characters. Tattoos, extras. Yeah, so you can pick your ear type. We'll keep these. And spell spits. Just so we can make this... What? I think it might be taken by me. So I did make this character once before and then deleted them specifically so I could do this. Mage Spits. So you can see you start off as just level 1 nothing. Power Pass isn't a thing yet. It tells me that I can do a thing, but it's nothing. I'm gonna launch in with this. Take a drink while this happens. There's story in this game. We're gonna skip it. Because it's awkward and has no context at all. The game sort of throws you in like the middle of some stuff. But we're not even gonna go any further than this with this character. This area in particular stutters like crazy. According to my computer, it's holding at a steady 72 FPS, but it's for sure micro-stuttering.
Are on the move again.
Oh no.
The Arcs once saved
An ancient
the world
evil has
from
awoken.
the demons. We need them again.
Demons.
Try opening the Tome of Prophecy. It will show you the path of your destiny.
Okay, cool. So I'm doing this very specifically here to showcase this is how you pick your advanced class, at least here in the beta. So Mage only has 2 classes, but they're both very, very different. So Summoner, we'll just jump right in. You can see, it has all that stuff, blah, blah, blah. It explains to you what it is. It's a little tutorial. Gives you new gear, fills your skill bar up, explains your class identity. So we'll summon in some monsters and we'll test this out. I don't have enough energy to do my special yet. Now I do. Summon a giant foot. There's other ones if you have more energy. It's still super loud. 1 second. Settings. No. That was lower before. Sure, but... As you can see, it's giving me the tutorial tips. But this is the Summoner. Some of my abilities are summoning little guys, you can see. So I'm a standard spellcaster, but I'm also summoning ads of my own. All these different skills. You can't look at them for some reason, you can only see them down here. But you have different elemental types. They all have different abilities. So for example, this one has a bonus against, if enemies are immune to paralysis, it's stronger against them. It does different types of magic, different types of damage. Some of these will buff me or my allies. Some of them will do debuffs on enemies, so you can build yourself however you want. Where's the Bard? Looks very different. Has very different skills. You might notice they went for it. And your attacks are all music-based. So, each attack sounds different, looks a little different. There's still comboing, still knockback. All sorts of fun stuff that you'd expect from action combat, even with spellcasters. Which I think is just awesome. Bard is a buff class, so if I had allies here, I'd be doing that. Yes, I know. Figured that out. So each class, though, again, these are still both mage, and they're still inherently both ranged spellcasters, but they perform very different roles. They have completely different skills, completely different class mechanic and gear. All of that is different. I don't know if you can change your advanced class later on down the road. I know you can respec your skills later, but I don't know about the advanced class. But anyway, yes. We're not actually going to pick... We don't need to do that because the tutorial in this game was very long and awkward. I was going to stream this last night, but I realized that I had only really played one character, and I wanted to showcase more, but I didn't want to have to go through the tutorial again, so... I am wearing pants there, by the way. Just, of course, in classic MMO style, the better gear you get, the more exposed your characters are. Like, this character started with full pants, now they're just hot pants. So, I'm trying to think what was the order I had in mind for this. Because I had this planned out so you would see different parts of different things. So yeah, we'll go with another range character. This one, the Gunslinger, has 3 different advanced classes. Only one of them is currently in the game, and it's a little half-baked. We're going to spend the least amount of time on this one.
You useless porters.
So you can see I'm off in the world somewhere. I'm trying to do some quests. To go up there and do some basic stuff. But auto-summon my pet. Move off the chat window so you can't see that. I wish you could just like permanently close that. But I don't think you can. So this one is interesting in that your default is 2 pistols. You can switch to a shotgun, or sniper rifle, and they have different skill bars, different skills, and you're supposed to switch them out throughout combat. That's how you combo your abilities most with this specific character class, or this specific advanced class, rather. The downside of that is you don't have a whole lot of skills yet, so I'm not going to switch to one of these things. Yeah, they do a ton of damage, but I only have 1 skill. Whereas when you got to test this one out, you had a full skill bar for all 3 different weapons, which was really nice. So this is one of those ones where it's either not going to be good till endgame, or maybe they're still working on it. Like I said, the other advanced classes for this aren't even in the game yet. But all my abilities are interesting, and they combo together kind of in a neat, unique way. For example, this one, I throw one of my guns, and it spins around and shoots, and I have it set up to debuff enemies. So when I throw a grenade, so obviously I'm going to lead with that, so the grenade will do more damage. This is like a slow-moving kind of plasma thing. This one does damage in an area, have lots of movement abilities, and then this one is like a big sort of AoE. So we'll go up and test this out. Fight some stuff up here. Not those horses, we won't fight the horses. So you can see I have a pet, and it automatically picks stuff up. I assume that the game will give you at least 1 pet, because otherwise, like, they're basically required, because you would have to manually pick up literally every single thing with G, which is weird. Like I think even money, you have to manually pick up, which just feels odd. Normally, in action games like this, action RPGs, I like ranged characters, because they tend to be a little faster, and you can play it safe and keep away from enemies. Not so much in this one, and that's why we're doing this first, because I want to showcase the melee characters. Melee is the highlight of this game. Not that this isn't fun and interesting. So you can see there's other players out in the world with me. This is an MMO. Everything is shared. So if you help out, everybody gets EXP, everybody gets a chance at loot. You don't have to be in parties or anything. Little moats, the ether, that's just a short-term buff. You can see it down there. I have the UI maximized. This is as big as it gets, unfortunately. But yeah, it is a little tricky to see things on it. Or at least for me, I don't know. Getting old. Young at heart. But, so we did our little side quest here. Now do the main quest. So you can see I'm just demolishing things. There's some scaling issues for sure. I have no idea what the actual start of this game is supposed to be. I don't think it's this. Or maybe it is, I don't know. And things are just wonky for the beta. But here we're in... This is a, like a kind of cordoned off area. A quest here. Must have been destroyed recently. Oh no. We're hunting down some MacGuffin to do a thing. And the bandits got here first. And I'll let this play.
Well, well, looks like we got some competition. You ain't going nowhere. Get 'em, boys!
So again, they're adding full English voice acting to the game, which makes sense as part of the port to the localization efforts. There we go. There's this guy, whatever, we'll skip through that. So you can see the shotgun did a ton of damage, but it's just sort of awkward to switch to. It's a long cooldown as well. And the neat thing about that is you only need one weapon. You don't have to, like, worry about getting 3, it just does it for you automatically, which is cool. We did it. We did our first quest. So again, even as the ranged character, you still have a lot of movement abilities. This one is just weirdly kind of AoE focused, which is fine for the open world. Obviously that's what you're going to be doing, fighting crowds of enemies. You can see this one, it's like a champion enemy, like you would see in an action RPG like Diablo. There's bosses around sometimes, higher chance to drop loot. Everything here is, it's more, again, it's more action game than it is. I mean, it's both. That's kind of the crux of this is an action RPG, but it's also an MMO. And I can see why it's so popular. This is satisfying to play. There's loot like an action game. The combat is fast-paced and fluid and fun. There's a whole bunch of little bars you can fill if you want to grind stuff up. Ability cooldowns are short enough that you're pretty much always doing stuff. Somebody else killed that boss.
You useless porters.
So you can see here, I'm turning in this quest. I have to hammer on G just to get through it.
The Toxiclaw robbers have their
Oh, no.
hideout set up in some isolated place.
Some isolated place. I wonder if it's right there. So you can see we got some loot. Even shorter shorts. But you can see here it shows you just right away in your inventory. This is better in every way. So of course you're going to equip it. Some other stuff. Some other things that I can unlock. We'll check out the store actually. So you can see there was the skins earlier. We saw them on my male character. This one looks the same on every female character. This is the one that's different depending on your class. So, be cool, sexy demon lady if you want to. There's physics on the outfit, but again, no jiggle physics. I don't know. You make the characters look like that, and then you have a physics engine in the game, but these two things don't meet up. I don't get it. You have mounts. They have a skill bar. The only one that's on there is dismount. I don't know if you can maybe get stuff later. Like mounted combat? That would be sick. Your health regenerates very slowly out of combat. That guy's on fire. Anyway. Go back to character select. Showcase something else. So we've seen 3 of the classes now. Let's check out the other 2. So next up is the Shadowhunter, or the Assassin, or whatever it is, the Demon Hunter, something like that. I don't know. It plays very similar to Demon Hunter from World of Warcraft, which is cool.
You useless porters.
Had 2 different subclasses. The one was very fast, played more like a monk almost. In this one, you have 2 glaives, and it's a little slower and more methodical. So, we're right where we were before. Gee, I wonder if I planned that out. And what we're gonna do, on a different horse, Actually, what else? You can see I have some other pants here. What was the other thing I was going to do with this character? Oh, so you can see I don't have skins on this one, never mind. But you can show or hide your different gear if you want to. So again, customization through that. Check the store one more time. Just to demonstrate that again. So this is where this game is going to make money. You're going to want to make multiple characters. You're going to want to buy skins for them. Like that's... I think that's probably why there's not really any like gameplay things in the store, as they're confident that you're going to shell out for this. And I think people will. I can't imagine why. But anyway, let's go on this way and check out a dungeon. Ooh, bonus quest, neat. So we will jump off. Melee in this game is fun as hell, because you get to do that. It combos a lot nicer. It's just incredibly fast, very fluid, very fun. So even if this game wasn't full of, like, you know, satisfying grinding in terms of, you know, filling bars, which people like to do. Again, RuneScape was and still is popular. New World is popular. And this is popular. But yeah, even if it wasn't for that, even if it wasn't for, you know, the fashion aspect, the waifu simulator here, or husbando simulator, just the combat is very enjoyable. A whole bunch of stuff there. So you can see more gear. You can tell this item's lower level because it shows less skin. Got whatever this is. So some lore items. Achievement. Expedition XP. Cool. So here's a dungeon. These scale completely to your level and party size. So you can solo this if you want to. There's different difficulty settings. You can do matchmaking. I'm going to solo it just because I'm streaming. It's quite easy. I did it earlier, though, on the Paladin character with a group, and it was really fun. They're relatively short, too, which is good. So you can see what rewards you're going to get. And again, turn it up to the next highest level, but we'll just do normal. Enter. It's going to throw you in there automatically. Again, it's just me. And again, we're hunting down a MacGuffin for some reason. Pet comes with you. Pets can't be attacked. Again, he's just collecting loot for me. Like a she, I named it. Named it Pecora. But, that was the only rabbit I could think of. So you can see him staggering the enemy. Do nice damage pop-ups. Game is gory. There's feedback on all the abilities you have, especially as a melee character. I have it set up so I'm highlighted in combat. You can turn that off. There's a whole bunch of different options you can pick and choose there. It's one of my potions. So we have to go through this cave. So with multiple people, the HP scaled up. So they weren't dying quite this fast when it was, you know, 4 of us, but it meant that everybody actually got to use their abilities. So you might have noticed the game is fixed camera perspective. There's no way to change that, again, unless I'm missing something obvious, but I don't think I am. To get around that, there's things like this throughout the world where you interact with the environment like this. So you can go, you know, up or down ladders by hitting the button there to get to new areas, which is kind of a neat way to do that. So the rabbit's gonna collect things for me. Progress through here. See, there's secrets here. Found one before when I did this on a previous character. boss. Killing stuff so fast I haven't even gotten to use my special class ability yet. I think they call it your identity skill. I think I am slightly stronger than I probably would be. In general, they give you some extra gear to start. Again, just because it's the beta, and they want you to see things and get a feel for the game. But I don't know. I think the time to kill feels pretty good. Just ripping through things. I died fighting that guy before, because he had a bunch of like, weird abilities. Actually, when I did this with a group, I think 3 of us died. Because he put like poison bombs on the ground. And we were all bad at dodging. Jump on down, get to the next area. I can see that getting a little bit old. Especially, again, with multiple characters. Because the map is going to be the same every time. I think that's my biggest fear about this game, other than that cash shop. I believe them for now, that it's just going to be cosmetics and a couple other things. But the potential is there, and that's slightly worrying because the game is free to play. So there is some super expensive, like, you know, pre-order thing that you can do to get you some of those cash shop things and early access to it. It's like 3 days, I think. But otherwise, it's going to be free to play. So we'll see how Amazon handles that. Again, I'll give them the benefit of the doubt because it is still free to play in Korea. So. But yeah, the other fear, other than the cash shop, is not the repetitiveness so much of the game. The gameplay is just, it's very fun. This is incredibly satisfying. But the repetitiveness of seeing the exact same maps over and over and over again, having to sit through the same little story beats over and over and over again. Again, you can skip the cutscenes, but not some of the dialogue and all that. So there's potentially issues with that. Because yeah, right now, at least as far as I know, there isn't like any kind of shortcut thing where you can, you know, skip stuff and just level up some other way. Like, for example, in Diablo 3, they have the adventure mode as opposed to story mode. That doesn't seem to exist here. And again, like this animation, this is cool. This is a nice, unique feature. That'll get real old real fast, I think. Go right quick. See whatever goofy side stuff there is here. There's areas that are closed off, which is kind of weird. Like I said, the map has been the same every single time. This is now the 3rd time I've been in here. And it's always the same areas closed off, all the same paths I can go through. So you can see I got an achievement there. Don't know what I did. It looked like it was because I killed an elite monster, but I've killed plenty of them, so I don't know why that was different. So you can see my dutiful rabbit there has been collecting loot as we've gone. Some of these I can't use yet. Tell just by the item level that it's, even though it's higher, it takes higher required level, I don't actually need it. So. Little story beats in the dungeon. It does it, I'm trying to think. I don't know, like standard co-op game style, where you can skip through that if you want with other people. Like, you get the option where it'll tell you, like, you know, 3 of 4 players decided to skip. Party size is 4. I don't know what raid size is. I don't know what the raids are or will be in this game. I know they exist because there's an option for them. I assume there's PvP as well because some of my skills had specific things for PvE and PvP. Which, you know, what are the odds? Who would have thought that you could balance a game of both by having different numbers for different things? I don't know, people are going to be like, oh, but JD, what about open world PvP? What about that? Open world PvP, more often than not, is just an awful gank fest for one side or another. It's inherently unbalanced and usually just not very fun. Unless you're the one doing the ganking, and then, you know, sometimes if you're on, you know, a good server or if an enjoyable game, you can turn things around, you know, have big fights based on that. But again, don't even try to balance around that. Set up battlegrounds or arenas, whatever you want to call them, doesn't matter. And then have different numbers for different types of content, and just balance both. You know, if you want your characters to be one way in PvE and one way in PvP, just do it. I'm, of course, directly calling out Blizzard for not having any clue what they're doing with their games anymore. They haven't for a while, but the PvE and PvP balance in WoW has been trash for years. I don't even play anymore, but I definitely didn't PvP anymore when I did because just it didn't matter. They had no idea. And not that I would have done it any better, but just saying there was other ways around it, and, you know, what a shocker. Other devs have figured it out. I think this is the most fun of the classes I've done, because it's that really unique mix of being very heavy and physical, sort of visceral combat, but it's also still fast. You have a little bit of range on your attacks, more so than some of the other characters do, which is nice. Because I will say that is one of the problems with the game, is that a lot of your moves have knockback and stagger, and if you didn't have ranged attacks or mobility things, I could see that being a huge pain. So I'll be checking out the martial artist after this, which is basically the monk. Some more lore items. Yada yada yada. There's an ancient evil. The bandits got coerced into helping demons. Crap, crap, crap. So you can animation cancel a little bit, which is nice. So you can, you know, get out of abilities when you put yourself into a bad position like that. Hold on, I want to use my special just once. Am I gonna get there? No, I'm gonna kill him before I get to pop it. More lore is happening. So we leveled up. Let's see, we got some loot. Significantly better weapon, awesome. Probably even skimpier armor. Okay, now it looks the same. You can see we get more skill points. See the ones that I've spent already. This is the one that just does just a boatload of damage. That's my R ability. Put everything into that. 50% chance to stun, that's pretty good. Crit rate. Grants paralysis immunity. That could be really good. Pick only one of those, though. What else would be good here? So you can see as you level up skills, in addition to getting access to the skill tree when you put enough points in, just the numbers go up too. So you have to kind of pick and choose what skills are you actually going to use, how much, damage are you comfortable giving up in exchange for having some other nice features with other skills. So again, there's some thought that goes into this. And you can revert your settings, or revert your points. Save your builds as pre-saves. Put that. Use that a lot. Then that, why not? Yay, we did it. Adventurous Tome. And we get rewards. Yeah, I want potions. Expedition, level up. So my account level is higher. More potions. To get more titles. That's that one I had before. Mission info. That's my vitality. Oh, so my health did go up. Okay, so this is an account-wide thing. Alright. I finally actually thought to look at it as I was doing it. Close to using that. So we finished the dungeon, and oh no, straight into a scenario. The little town is under attack by demons. Skip the cutscene. Right, home's under attack. I think I'd go back to character select from here, yeah. It's a fun little scenario. But we'll skip to ahead of it and check out the last character class, the martial artist now. So this is after the demon invasion has been quelled by us. But again, each character has to go through the same thing.
Demons have appeared on Ankumo Mountain.
That's where we have to go. Right, so, we'll teleport out of town. When you teleport, you play a musical instrument. Every character is different, which is cool. The Gunslingers is an electric guitar, and the song changes based on the instrument you're using too. See here, these characters all look a little bit different. So even though this one is, that's the Demon Hunter again, and they look pretty much the same as I did. But that's like a mage, and they're using very different armor. Martial artists that look very different than the Demon Hunter did. Close out of that. And then, okay, so this one I actually bought the skins. So you potentially have skins for all of your different gear sets here, or all of your different pieces of gear, rather. That's what I was going for. And you can pick and choose what you want to use. So you have other different things there. So, again, it's still that demon skin from the shop, but it looks very different than it did for the other characters. I was supposed to talk to somebody here, that's right. What do you want? Complete. Yes. Came to find a horse. I already have a horse, so it doesn't matter. Oh my god, what happened? Okay. So I already had a horse, so I don't know why it was like, you're gonna need one. Way ahead of you, dude. What else do I have? New skills. So what's my... Oh. Inflict damage while you gather energy and soar through the air. That sounds cool. Put everything in that. And then... pull up that once too. Alright. Elemental bubble, I don't know what that even is. It's push immunity while landing after ascending. I don't know what that is. Bubble. Get on our horse. And push up here this way. New areas. Cross the bridge on a horse. So sometimes it just throws quests at you. So again, MMO in some aspects. Certainly with the UI and sort of the questing structure and everything. Rabbit teleports to you. We're the best. Oh my god. No one else could have accomplished that. Only me. We're gonna go this way instead. I don't know what this is. So it's the furthest I've ever gotten. Looks spooky. Are you evil? Yeah. So, still a fast melee class, which is, I think, like the winning play for this game. Just because of how the combat happens to work. I think you're going to want to play one of the classes that's faster like this. But even though it is still just fast melee as the archetype, it still feels different from the last one. Definitely different thematically as well. And I assume that there's some sort of class story as well, because when you start out, it gives you like a little cutscene. I didn't have any context for it. It seemed like it was just kind of taken randomly, but it might have been important. I don't know. You might have noticed though, so I'm earning, 2 XP per kill. It takes me 42,000 to get to level 15. This game is going to be grindy, very grindy. That is a lot of people's main complaint about it from like the Korean servers, and apparently it's also in Russia as well. So the grind is real for this game. But again, you unlock some count-based things to help make that a little bit easier. But if the grind is this combat the entire way, it might not be too bad. I've pretty much resigned myself to checking out this game. I was totally fine with like not playing more MMOs, but this works well enough just as an action RPG that I'm willing to try it out, see how it is on launch, especially because it's free. And again, the fact that it's like, that dungeon was totally soloable, that's great. So, for someone who maybe doesn't want to commit to an MMO again, or at least not commit fully, maybe I want to no-life this for like a month, and then, be able to step back and then come back later, see what content I've missed, if there's updates and things like that. This seems like, at least in terms of content, it'll be easy to do that. Anything good? No. Which is cool. I assume they'll have some, there's login rewards. There's probably going to be dailies and all that stuff once you get to max level. I don't know what the story is down here. There's no quests or anything. What if this area just hasn't been added yet, or demons? Zoom all the way in. Intense. Basically unplayable. Yeah, this was... can't see what I'm doing. Zoom out a little bit. All the way. This is as far as you can zoom out, which is kind of weird. It's not very far at all. Ghosts. Phasmophobia all over again. Except you can punch these ones. Yeah, I'm impressed by this. I wasn't sure what to think. I had heard about the game before. Hadn't seen anything about it though. And yeah, I'm pleasantly surprised. I've attempted to play other kind of Korean MMOs in the past and just immediately fallen off them because I've, picked up on the sort of prediction tactics that they're going for. And again, I can see where they're going to be in this, probably. But just the fact that the combat is so fun and satisfying, I think it'll be worth it, at least for me. And at the price of free, it's hard not to at least want to check it out. Let's check out our new ability. That looks cool as hell. They die so fast, you can't even go through the full animation. Alright, let's mount up then. So I guess the other big thing is, of course, with the cash shop, they let you try it and see some things that are in there, but they very conveniently don't show the prices of what the premium currency is going to be. So, a little worrisome. But, again, if it's free and you can detach yourself from that and just take the game as it is, you might be okay. Guy's got the demon skin too.
The plague.
And that bird.
It hurts.
The plague.
Be careful. Go see Priest Gorilla if you want safe passage.
Okay.
I've never seen a plague this bad before.
So new environment. Even just in that area we were at before, Log Hill, different kind of sections of this zone built and looked a little bit different. They had some different enemies in them. Not huge variation, but enough to kind of keep you interested and invested. Bug people. Weird. Got too many faces. Way too many faces. Notice a lot of enemies don't aggro on you, which I don't know how to feel about that.
I'm seeing more moss wolves than usual.
Moss wolves, oh no.
You're from
plague.
Brideholm, right? You're the adventurer Father Armin told me about.
You can tell I'm the important player character because my model is significantly higher quality than hers. The plague was protected, or the place was. It's probably the demons. Kill demons.
I can't breathe.
I thought that I thought there was like an NPC doing something unique there, but no. Blah, blah, blah. Clear out debris. Use trot to gain
Seeing
temporary
more
speed
moss wolves
boost.
than
Aren't
usual.
we getting a bit too
What am I supposed to
close
do?
the city?
Ah,
Medicine. Give me medicine.
so you have some quests like this where you're not just killing things blindly. Again, so a little bit more standard MMO fare when it comes to the quests in the game. But thank goodness. It's all because of that other woman. You mean me. It's because of me. I'm the best. Look at all the sick loot I got from that. These plague spores. Just what I want. That's the only reward for me. But yeah, no, this is fun. This was a pleasant surprise. I think I'll probably be checking this out when it actually goes live. I don't know if I'll stream it. I'm kind of just reluctant in general to stream multiplayer games.
Medicine.
Partially because
Give me
I like to
medicine.
kind of zone out when I play them and like watch other things, or like watch something on Netflix or Crunchyroll or what have you, or like listen to a podcast or have my music on. So they're a nice kind of way to do that, and also because you can't control what other people are going to say and do in the chat and all that. So But I did want to put this out again because some other people had asked me about it, and I thought I should showcase it a little bit just because Amazon gave me the key. They didn't give me any stipulation with it. It was like the shortest email I think I've ever gotten. It was literally just, here's your key for New World, redeem it. Okay. Or not New World, Lost Ark. They did that for New World too though, so. Again, thanks to them. And I guess it makes sense because they're publishing this. They probably wanted people to stream it, but they didn't give any instructions or anything. So, and there was no NDA or anything like that. But yeah, Lost Ark. Make your ideal demon waifu. This game is fun. But yeah. Whether you're here live or you watch this VOD later on, boy, I talked a lot in this one. I hope you enjoyed it, and we appreciate your viewership. And until next time, have a good one.